I'm Tom Patton with the Aero-News Network, and my next guest is Peter Campbell with PS Engineering. And Peter, your company was probably the only one, if not one of only a handful, during the new product introductions on Wednesday that did not say the phrase ADS-B. This is all about audio panels. And when I first started to learn to fly, nobody had an audio panel. It was a real luxury in high-end airplanes. Nobody had a headset. But now these things are really standard equipment in pretty much every airplane that's out there.
Yep, they sure are.
So we've got a new audio panel here, the PMA 450, and there's some interesting things about this. And why don't you just tell us about this piece of equipment?
Okay, sure. The PMA 450 is our new flagship audio panel, basically. It's kind of in the same line as our PMA 8000, which has been very popular. There are a lot of those out in the field. And we just wanted to add a few new features to that. We kind of changed the user interface around a little bit, make it a little easier to use. But basically, just the 450 is a 6-place stereo intercom, like you've kind of come to expect. It's a slide-in replacement for the GMA 340, which is the same format as the 8000. It's certified, obviously, and it has our IntelliVox, which if you're familiar with PS Engineering, you know what that is, but maybe customers that aren't familiar with us, IntelliVox basically gets rid of the squelch controls, handles that automatically. It works really well in lots of different environments. It does a good job at basically blocking out the background noise, and it knows when you're speaking, and it opens up the mic automatically, so you don't even have to think about it anymore. It's got all the same inputs as our 8000, so you've got 2 comms, you've got 2 navs, 4 unswitched inputs, 3 switched inputs, kind of everything you've come to expect in that form factor.
So what are some of those new features that you included?
Yeah, the new features. I guess the first that we put on there that's probably the most obvious, just looking at the front panel, is it's got a USB jack. Because what we've noticed, and I guess everybody's noticed in the last 5 or 6 years, is tablets and things like that have become a lot more prevalent in a GA cockpit. There have been a lot of great apps that have come out, and you know, people have just had a hard time keeping those devices charged. So it was an easy thing to do. We added that. It gives them basically a certified solution. Have a charger there to keep their iPad refreshed or their tablet, whatever they're using. It'll put out a full 10 watts, so it will do a phone or a tablet. The other thing we did, like I say, the user interface has been changed around a little bit. The 8000 has been real popular. It's a real good solution. You know, it's got real good tactile feel on the buttons, but it can be a little bit hard to configure for some people, some of the more advanced features. So we added a screen, more of a kind of a menu system, make it a little easier and a little more intuitive to get to some of those more advanced features. And then the last big change we made was we added IntelliAudio, which is our solution for spatial audio, basically, where the user can take COM 1 and COM 2 and place them anywhere they want in the sound field in their headsets. So they could place, for instance, COM 1 at 10 o'clock, COM 2 at 2 o'clock, and it makes it a lot easier when you've got 2 sources going simultaneously to be able to listen to one or the other. You don't have to fumble around and turn COM 2 off, you know, when tower kicks in and you want to turn the ATIS off. You can kind of do that mentally in your head a lot easier. And we partnered with the folks at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base on that technology, and that's been real popular. It makes for a real good demo, and we've got a lot of good feedback from the field where pilots are real happy with the performance of that feature.
Now, in the experimental category, it's the PDA 360EX, and what makes this different from some of your other audio panels?
Right, well that's kind of like the PMA 450. You know, it had a lot of those new features, so we put IntelliAudio in there for the experimental market. To make it a little more affordable, it's not certified, obviously. We removed the marker beacon receiver, so they're not paying for that. And while we were at it, we went ahead and customized the user interface a little bit more for the experimental folks. We've actually received a lot of good feedback from experimental pilots. And like one of the obvious things on there is they've got a dedicated button to turn their music source on and off right on the front panel. And that was something that pilots had requested, and we gave it to them. We were able to do that. And so basically the user interface has been a little bit simplified. It's got a lot of the features that you're used to with the 450. So it's a pretty powerful box for the experimental pilot.
What were some of the features that the experimental pilot really wanted that they were not finding in another panel?
Well, like I say, it gives them the solution for IntelliAudio, where they can do the spatial audio. It still has the USB charger, so it's got that. And really, it's just, like I say, a lower cost version of a pretty powerful panel for those guys.
Are you finding that there are a lot more experimental aircraft that are going to a system like this as opposed to just having a straight ahead audio panel? Is this an item that people want to put in their home built airplanes?
I think so, yeah. We don't, I'd say most of our business is the certified market, but we do see a lot of experimental guys putting that kind of panel in there. I mean, they've got these nice glass panel systems they're putting in, you know, they want good audio, they need a lot of audio inputs to handle all the devices they have on their panel. So while we do still sell a lot of just straight up intercoms, audio panels do seem to be a popular option for the home builder.
The other, another product that you introduced this week is the PMA 7000M and the H model as well. A lot of times H stands for helicopter, did I get that right?
Right, yes
okay.
It does.
Tell us about this audio panel.
Okay, well the PMA 7000M is kind of exciting. It was designed as a replacement for our original audio panel from 20 years ago, the PMA 6000 mono series. And just based on our own records, I think there's something like over 10,000 of those in the field. So we've basically given those users a pretty good user base, basically an upgrade path. So they can pull that panel out and drop in the PMA 7000M, no rewiring required. And it basically gets them up to date with a modern audio panel. It looks just like our PMA 7000, which has been in the field for a while now. But it adds IntelliVox for those users. The original PMA 6000 series had the manual squelch system. So they're getting IntelliVox, and it also adds Bluetooth. So that was the big change that we put in there for those guys, so they can get the phone connectivity, you know, where they can place a phone call. They need to, you know, get in touch with tower before they depart, or it also lets them stream their music from their iPad or their phone or whatever. So,
what's the advantage for? And I guess the question that I want to ask is, why is there a specific helicopter model? Why do you have to design something specifically for the rotor market?
Well, that's a good question, actually. I'm not too sure on the answer, to be honest. It's something that we've had for a while, and it is popular. I know Bell Helicopter uses it a fair amount. As far as what makes it unique is it gives them more passenger inputs compared to the other models. So if you've got a lot of people in the back, you know, in one of those larger helicopters, you wouldn't have in a general aviation airplane where you've only got 2 seats.
Right.
It gives them that option.
And then finally at the PMA 8000C and PMA 8000E, and this is another new product that was introduced here during AEA this week. What have we got in those boxes?
Well, the PMA 8000E we did announce this week at AEA. It's basically our new solution for a dual audio panel system. Previously we had the PMA 8000D, which was really us, you know, just kind of getting used to that market, seeing what the needs were, and we've since gotten a lot of feedback from corporate users on what they need in an audio panel, a dual audio panel system. So the PMA 8000E was kind of a fresh take based on that feedback. The big change on it has been we've reworked our intercom states. It's a lot like our 8000, but on our 8000 you've got basically 3 different intercom modes, where you've got isolate, which is just the pilot, you know, and he's not distracted by anybody else in the airplane. You've got crew, which is the pilot and co-pilot can talk together. And then you've also got the all mode, which is where everybody, including passengers, would be on the headsets at the same time. And what we found was on the 8000 series, you'd be cycling through all mode to go between isolate and crew. So you were adding passengers maybe when you didn't need them or weren't expecting them. So we've dropped that. Now for the corporate users, you just toggle back and forth between isolate and crew. You're not going to add the passengers unintentionally, but they can still talk to the passengers. They've just got to be intentional about it. So that was the biggest change to that model. Also, we've kind of simplified some of the features that don't make sense for corporate flyers. The 8000 family's got a lot of entertainment options, different kind of music routings and things like that, which the corporate world doesn't really need. And so we took a lot of that out. It simplified the panel for those users. It still has a PA function so that they can get back to the cabin speaker and talk to the passengers. And then we've also changed the Bluetooth on it a little bit, where some corporate users didn't want to have Bluetooth available to their pilots, but some did, just as a matter of corporate policy. So we've given users the option of enabling or disabling that feature.
What is the advantage of having the Bluetooth in all of these panels? Couldn't they just pick up their phone and make a call, or if they needed to do something along those lines? Right,
you can, and a lot of headsets these days have an input for your phone, so that's become popular for those kind of headsets, but we found it's really a popular option to not have to fool with plugging something into your headsets or even taking your headsets off when the engine's running, because like the instance we give most often is, say you're at an uncontrolled airfield and you can't take off VFR and get an IFR clearance in the air. You need to place that call.
Right.
And just having that Bluetooth functionality built into the panel, it really makes for a seamless, user experience. You can just place the call on your phone and it's right there in your headsets. So that's been a really popular feature on the phone side. And then on the music side, it's just an added bonus, being able to play music in the air as well.
Are you finding you're getting a lot of good traffic at your booth, and you're getting a lot of interest in something that's not ADS-B related?
We have. It's been a very good show, actually. We've had a lot of good interest. Like I say, the 8000E has been interesting for a lot of people, and so has the 7000. It's been a really good show. We've noticed probably in the last 5 or 6 months a pretty good uptick in our business. So I think this show is just kind of a reflection of that.
Well, great, Peter. Well, thanks for taking some time to talk with us today. Really appreciate you coming over and chatting with us a little bit about about these new products. And of course, you can find them all. Give us a website so that people can come and find.
Sure. Our website is www.ps-engineering.com.
Great. Thanks very much. Peter Campbell with PS Engineering has been my guest.
Aero-News Network's coverage of the 58th Annual AEA International Convention and Trade Show, live from Dallas, Texas, is brought to you in part by the following sponsors.
Now certified, Aspen Avionics single-band ADS-B, ATX100 and ATX100G transceivers are the next-gen ADS-B solution that provides the features pilots need while keeping flyaway costs low. Check it out now at aspenavionics.com.
Avidyne provides innovative avionics solutions for general aviation aircraft, including the IFD 540 and IFD 440 FMS GPS navcoms with geofill, hybrid touch, and full ADS-B capability.
The KSN 770 is an affordable, WAS-enabled integrated MFD with a flexible hybrid user interface from Bendix King. Get your fingers on the 770's perfect blend of touchscreen and hard buttons. Easily control your GPS navigation, navcom, weather, traffic, and terrain in any condition. For more information, go to bendixking.com.
HeliSAS from Genesis Aerosystems is the FAA-certified, cost-effective, and reliable stability augmentation system and 2-axis autopilot for light to medium helicopters. HeliSAS offers significant safety-enhancing benefits and still weighs less than 12 pounds. Visit www.genesis-aerosystems.com.
An interactive links application is available in the Apple and Android app stores. This free app is a virtual simulation of the Lynx NGT 9000 touchscreen cockpit display that lets pilots interact with the unit as if they had a real system in their hands. The app covers the entire Lynx family of ADS-B products, including features and options to help customers decide which Lynx model is right for their needs.
Today's pilots must have power for electronic flight bags, tablets, iPads, and communication devices. The TA102 dual USB charging port delivers more power with less hassles. Available from your local avionics dealer.
NavWorks makes ADS-B affordable. Certified or experimental, NavWorks gives you high-quality next-gen avionics solutions that dramatically increase your situational awareness. Check us out now on the web at www.navworks.com.
The debate is no longer about upgrading GA aircraft with NextGen, it's about financing it. The NextGen GA Fund is about doing just that. Find out more at www.nextgenfund.com.